We have another question here. This one is from Crystal.
Hey, this is Crystal from Malaysia. Well, I used to allow the outcomes of my actions to define who I was, but I've come to realize we are not our failures nor successes. So who do you think we are then when we let go of our attachments?
Our second book, Ryan, started with this line: our identities are shaped by the costumes we wear.
Mm-hmm.
And I meant costumes literally, like Ryan and I used to wear a suit every day to go into work, and that became part of my identity. But also our costumes can be the oversized house, the luxury car. Nothing wrong with these things morally, but also understanding our identities get wrapped up in a lot of these things that we didn't even know we wanted, but because we're following someone else's path, we're accumulating the same things that they accumulated. We thought those things were going to make us happy. And then enter Julian Smith with a line like this: would your childhood self be proud of you or embarrassed?
Ooh.
And that's a difficult question to sit back and ask. Where did that question come from?
When I hear that, first of all, I'm shocked that I wrote it.
Uh-huh.
Because again, it would be impossible to confront someone directly with that question.
Mm.
And the only reason I was able to write it is because I'm writing it to myself and writing it to an unknown public. But the great thing about being presented with that is that you can then look at that question and you can ask it yourself, of yourself, and be able to say, hold on a second, what did I intend to do? What did I think was impressive or just magical, or what did I think was special when I was a kind of a purer, less scarred up version of myself? And can I be honest and can I be authentic to that person now in some way, in some small, tiny way? Like, what kind of thing can I do that is an authentic reflection of who I am, instead of trying to represent me to a certain set of people that I'm trying to impress out in the outside world? Like, I am the person I need to impress. I'm the person that I need to be proud of, not other people. If that comes secondarily, great. If it doesn't, who cares? If I love myself and if I am able to be proud of myself.
Would you say that is the essence of who we are? That capacity for self-love, that capacity for creativity and reinvention?
I think that there is an authentic person, first of all, versus like a blank slate, right? And where you can reinvent everything and turn it to zero. So to me, I feel that a person can reconnect, and it's not like some Freudian thing where they need to connect with their inner child, but they can connect with a version of themselves that feels special, and that feels that they have a bright future, and that feels that when they do ABC thing, that those things are special and amazing, and just like I have a to-do that reoccurs in my system of to-dos that I manage, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just thoughts that I want to remember. And this one that occurs to me on a regular basis when I see it is, have you experienced the sacred recently? That's all that the question asks. And I'm like, yes or no. And then I check it off, and then it'll recur like 45 days or something in the future, right? And so a super vague question, but it's really meaningful for me. And when I look at it, I know what the answer is, yes or no. And sacred is not sacred universally. It means something different to someone else than it does to me. But it lets me say, okay, like, was there something special that I experienced that I felt was worthwhile? And I know when I've experienced those moments, and I bet anyone else knows too, right? And that gives them a sense as to whether they have done something that maybe their childhood self would be proud of or embarrassed.
Have you written this checklist anywhere? Because I want to know more about this checklist. Yeah,
that's a very powerful checklist.
It really is, man. That's wow. That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't push you on it. Maybe you can just text it to me. I won't share it, I promise.
Don't believe him. He has automatic tweets set up. Anything you text him just goes out automatically.
That's right. It was the worst app idea ever. No, okay. So getting back to Crystal's question here, though, it makes me think about when we were in Nashville. Andy Davis opened up for us, and we did our talk, and we were doing the Q&A, and someone asks Josh, like, "Well, you've given up all your things, so I just have a simple question for you. Who are you?" Mm-hmm. And Josh had the best answer, because I'm like, oh, I'm glad she didn't ask me that, because I don't know how I would answer that.
Right.
But
what
Josh,
did I say?
Josh said, I am what I desire. And I was like, that was actually really profound. I know you were just giving her something back that was kind of ethereal sounding, but that has really stuck with me, obviously, because, 9 years later, I'm talking about it.
Wow.
But it is true. It's like when I think about who we are as a person, or who I am as a person, well, first off, the older I get, the less I identify with this Ryan Nicodemus is, and then like having a mission statement. It's more about, it is what I desire, coupled with what am I trying to give, to the world, or the community, or my friends or family, or whatever it is, and couple that with the purpose that I serve, which I've talked about this a little bit, but we always talk about, where's my purpose? Julian has a purpose. Josh has a purpose. Where's my purpose? But purpose is not, I don't see it as an ownership thing. Purpose is something that when you serve it properly, it'll own you.
Yeah.
And
like this is a very, very crazy way to say it. And so just take this with a grain of salt, perhaps, patrons. But it's like, what are you willing to die for? Because that's kind of what you're doing regardless. So you might as well be willing to spend that time in that way. Right? And if not, and I want to emphasize again, please take the language that I'm using. It's deliberately provoking. Take it in that way. It's like, this time is passing. What is worth it? What is really worth it to you?
Did you enjoy this standalone Patreon highlight? If so, you can listen to full episodes of the Minimalists private podcast available exclusively on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/theminimalists or click the link in the description. Your support keeps our podcast and YouTube channel 100% advertisement free.